So basically, it's time to take another look at the Alpha. So first things first, the motherboard. The motherboard on this system is, as you can see, filthy. I'm going to pull this battery when I clean it, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this thing up. This does not look very clean at all. This board really does not look clean at all. As you can see here, especially this side, there is a lot of junk that probably got its way onto that side of the board. A little bit here, but a lot right here. Now on the other end, let's take a look at these connectors. So there's two AT connectors. One's labeled power and one's labeled 3.3 volts. Now I did the research, and apparently these P8 and P9 connectors are generic AT connectors. The only issue is on these connectors is that these red wires are labeled VDD. Now I was wondering, what the hell is VDD? Is it 5 volt? Is it 3.3 volt? But as we can see here, all these wires go to their own power rails. These are the 3.3 AT connectors. They look all gunked up, but we can see the pinout. And that is, it's orange in the middle, ground on the edges. And these orange are 3.3. The ground is the other. Now, as you can see here, this power supply is junked. It's an Aztec power supply. As you can see here, there's a lot of cap shit on the board. Now, this is an Aztec AA19100. As you can see here, caps leaked. Really not a good thing to look at. So as you can see here, this is labeled 3V3. If we push this wire aside a bit, we can try to get a visual here, but it's a bit hard. There's just a lot of wires out here. Essentially I have to cut the whole wiring harness to even see, but it's probably 5 volt because these go to the same rail. All these rails are color coded. It goes to the same one as these Molex ones, which are 5 volt. Now deck colored plus 12 as blue, and apparently a friend with a PC based deck, it was a Celebris, I think GL or something, he told me that deck also colored plus 12 as blue on his machine. So I get the feeling that deck did these coloring schemes on their other machines. So let's go and let's take a look about here. 3v3 A30A. See if we can get a visual on the top of the look at all these chewed up wires in the way. So we're having a hard time seeing what it says around here, but they all seem to be going to a 5 volt rail, especially because these comp wires are in the way. So it's hard to see, but it looks like it's going to a 5 volt rail here. So, and I've heard people say that they've used generic AT PSUs on say the AXP PCI motherboard, which uses the same connector setup, one for 3.3 and one for AT. Now the reason they did these two wires is because you've got stuff like PCI, which sort of requires 3.3 rails, and maybe they might go to the CPU, because I heard the CPU did require 3.3 volts, so it might be sending 3.3 to the CPU. And if that's the case, then, well, this definitely needs the 3.3 connector plugged. So I'm going to have to, even if I'm modifying like an ATX PSU for AT, I'm still going to have to tackle that 3.3 connector problem. Then on the other end, we've got this motherboard, and as we can see, this needs cleaning. I think I'm going to toothbrush this later today, but there's your little update on the DEC Alpha. I really want to get this working. Really want to have a computer with a CPU that failed because of bad management leading up to the whole shit show we see in tech today, where it's not cool at all. I mean, I love spending money on a computer that's like the same as the one I had like 3 years ago, but it just is even more likely to break. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more, and hopefully I can get this going. I really want to get this machine going. I mean, it would be a shame if I couldn't. Well, would you look at that. So I was going over the board with the dollar store toothbrush, and this side of the board was real filthy. This one, not so much, but this side of the board was filthy. The riser card looks okay. Looks alright. But, as I'm going over here, I start to notice there's some gunk on these pins. I'm like, that ain't coming off, so I quit scrubbing for a little bit, and what do you know? There's corrosion. Some good old corrosion on this chip. Those pins right there, they're just corroded. They're just corroded. But it's real bad when you look at the chips below it. These Motorola chips, don't know what they are. Couldn't find any data sheets online. The top one is really corroded. Look at this corrosion. Nasty green corrosion. So I might be able to substitute a power supply for the system. Guess what I need? Either a new motherboard or, I mean, look how bad this corrosion is. This looks a bit more than something that'll just buff out, if you know what I mean. And I couldn't even find data sheets of these chips online either. This is a bit more than it'll buff out. No, this is some nasty corrosion. Doesn't look so bad on the rest of the board. This looks fine. The proprietary sound card looks fine. Network card looks fine for the most part. These hard drives, I'm tempted to sell them to someone I know, because I could put them on eBay and get more money, but second you tell anybody you have something, the first thing they're going to say is, "Gives me that." So yeah. On the other note, this CPU socket. This CPU socket, I pulled the CPU out and it looks fine. The CPU looks filthy on the top. It doesn't look so bad underneath. But it's a 233 MHz alpha, and this CPU looks just fine on the bottom of it. I mean, I could even take it out a little bit. This lever's gotta come up. And it ain't one to come out. Oh, there we go. Let's get this one too. This ain't coming out. Nice. Nice and clean. No bent pins or anything. Looks all nice. Now a little bent there, but you know, it'll go back in. So there, this CPU goes right in the socket. Little bent pin, but not like bent, if you know what I mean. That's probably because I took it out earlier. RAM looks... I'll take a look at the RAM later, but it looks mostly fine. Yeah, this thing's gonna need a new motherboard. This is turning into a money pit real quick. So, I mean, this thing's turned into a big money pit real quick. It really is. On another note, even though I couldn't get the Alpha working, I guess it's time to dig this old ZX6000 in shabby shape, missing all its side panels working. I mean, it works and it runs VMS, so I guess this will be the next project, now that the Alpha didn't quite work out. It's a shame, but you know, that's how it is these days. All the hardware that didn't look like Rat's Nest either goes for $1,000 on eBay or other ridiculous prices, or is owned by hoarders or people flex it who were lucky enough to get into the hobby before it got out of hand. So it's a shame, but what else can I do? Better pray that my dad one day drives a Benz.